What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a very special review and test drive. In front of me I have a 2014 Bentley Flying Spur W12. I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to the team over at Leesburg Buick, GMC and Hummer, especially Caleb for allowing me to review this beautiful Flying Spur. They literally just got it in for inventory, so it hasn't even been detailed or anything yet, but as soon as I saw it, I had to jump on this opportunity. So for those that are unfamiliar, the Flying Spur is the four-door variant of Bentley's very popular coupe, the Continental GT. It was released for the first generation in 2005, and this is the second generation, which was unveiled in 2012, which is pretty much a heavy facelift of that first generation. I believe the third generation is now on sale from 2018 onwards, but this example being such a gorgeous color, it's finished in aquamarine metallic with a beluga full white leather interior. The base price of the Flying Spur W12 back in 2014 was right around $200,000 on the dot. This one is very well optioned, so I would imagine that its price was well in excess of 250 grand all those years ago. But starting right up front, you can't mistake this for anything other than a Bentley with the four headlights right there with the crystal LED kind of daytime running lights. You can kind of see what those look like. And for that 2012 facelift, it gave the Bentley Flying Spur those crystal LED headlights and the revised front bumper. But if we continue along here to these wheels, these are a gorgeous set of 10-spoke 21-inch units. They are wrapped in a 275 tire all around. You can see the gloss black Bentley center cap right there with the Bentley script on the brake calipers as well. You also have a Flying B kind of adornment on the fender. Continue along, you can see this has the chrome window trim. I do believe a sort of night package was available on these cars that could darken all this chrome trim, but in my opinion, the chrome is the way to go on these big Bentleys. The total length of this Flying Spur is over 208 inches, which is pretty much in line with a full-size Chevy Tahoe and stuff like that. You can see all the extended room you get in the rear seat and how big that rear door is, which we'll get into in a second. Continuing along, you can see how the body lines kind of taper into the rear trunk lid right there that look very good. You have updated LED taillights for the facelift as well with that kind of circular pattern right there. You can see what that looks like illuminated. Bentley B obviously on the trunk lid and those massive dual oval exhaust tips for that W12 to breathe. Under the hood of the W12 Flying Spur back in 2014, you had two different engine choices. You had a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 in the Volkswagen Audi group, but this is the engine that you want. This is the 6-liter twin-turbo W12 that Bentley is famous for. In this car, it makes 616 horsepower and 590 foot-pounds of torque. It's all-wheel drive, and it's connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 is in the low 4-second range, and fuel economy, if you care, is 12 city, 20 highway for around 15 combined. This engine is absolutely beautiful under here. You can see the Bentley B right there on top of the intake manifold, 6-liter and twin turbo badging as well. Obviously, the maintenance and reliability of these W12s is interesting to say the least. I think they are heavily improved, especially now that this is a later model year vehicle. But obviously, the cost to maintain and parts are very expensive, and there's been some interesting stories online about ownership of these cars, especially out of warranty. Let's go ahead and hop inside the car, but before we do so, I'll show you guys what the key looks like. You can see it is leather and fully aluminum with the Bentley B, again, aluminum trim on the side with this kind of pattern. You have the unlock trunk as well as the lock button, as well as the traditional switchblade key. But this car also has smart key access, so all you have to do to unlock it is just put your hand behind the door handle and pull it like so. You can hear the Audi traditional chime there. And like I said, this one is finished in this amazing shade of beluga white interior. The door also feels like a tank. It feels like hundreds of pounds. It's really a nice impression of quality. You can see all of the contrast stitching on the door panel here. Fully aluminum door handle as well. That's metal. Same with the window switches. You have this kind of piano black trim as well. You also have some aluminum kick plates right there with Bentley Motors written on them. These seats are amazing as well. You can see they are heated and ventilated. I also believe they're massaging with the Bentley B kind of embossed in the headrest right there. You can see all the memory functions down here as well. Let's go ahead and fire this beast up. All you have to do to start, obviously, is put your foot on the brake and hit the button down in the center console. And you have the unmistakable starter noise of a W12, and it just kind of bursts to life. Sounds absolutely incredible. We'll go ahead and shut the door here to stop the chime there. This car also obviously has smart soft close doors, so you can just bring it to the first latch and it will finish closing for you. Obviously, the interior quality up here, like I said, is gorgeous. You have the stitching that runs all throughout this kind of dual section of the dashboard here. Bentley clock right there with Breitling, I believe, is the manufacturer. You have the aluminum opening and closing mechanisms for the air vents, which are also fully aluminum. Directly in front of you, you also have this dual leather-wrapped steering wheel here with the contrasting stitching all throughout. Very nice. And also the aluminum trim on the actual steering wheel controls. You have a little bit of customization in this gauge cluster as well with that center screen. You can go through the various menus with this right side of the steering wheel. It's not the, the most latest and greatest digital cockpit or anything, but it's still a very nice and classic look. Obviously, the rest of the gauges are fully analog. Continuing along, we already talked about some of the air vents and the clock and everything, but this infotainment is slightly updated compared to the older Continentals and Flying Spur. You can see you have some shortcut buttons down here on the bottom. It is still a touchscreen, obviously. It's not, the fastest thing or anything. It's still from 2014, but you do have some Bluetooth audio and stuff, so a little bit of modern connectivity there. You have a row of climate buttons down here as well, temperature control, pretty self-explanatory, all the zones and everything for that. This is the analog gear selector, if you will. No digital stuff here in this model year car, but all you have to do is put your foot on the brake and put your finger on top of the B right here and drop it into drive like any other selector. You can kick it over into manual mode and use that option as well. You also have a sport mode down at the bottom. Put the vehicle in reverse. You do have a backup camera with some parking sensors and a little bit of live trajectory right there. So nice modern features there. Putting it back in park, you can see the electronic parking brake, which is pretty self-explanatory. These are the mirror controls right here. Down in this area of buttons, you can see the engine start stop, the heated and ventilated seat controls for the driver, front, and passenger seats, the suspension controls and the infotainment for the adaptive dampers for more comfort or sport-oriented driving. This is for the rear sunshade as well, and the hazards. You have some cup holders right here in this kind of dual section center armrest with storage in both sections, but you can also lift both of them up like so to have a little bit more storage and a 12-volt power outlet as well. Up above you, you also have a fully leather stitched headliner and the controls for the full power sunroof. Obviously, you can just twist this dial to set it to any position that you'd like, and the full LED interior illumination. The rear seat of the Flying Spur is where you want to be. I also forgot to mention this W12 badging right there, but opening up this massive rear door, you can see the same gorgeous trim on the door panel here, the power sunshades as well. And this one is equipped with the executive rear seating package, so it has full power controls for these seats as well as two-person memory. If we go ahead and take a quick step inside, I'll show you guys how much room you have back here. This is in a standard driving position, actually a little bit farther back, and you can see I still have quite a few inches between me and the back of the seat, and I am over 6 feet tall. You also have a tray table right here. You can put a laptop or a tablet or something like that. Looking down here, you can also see the digital controls that were updated for the facelift Flying Spur for this fan speed and the climate controls back here. Same gorgeous aluminum vents as well. Cup holders and a little bit of storage right here in the center console with the Bentley B embossed in there, which is amazing. But with the interior and exterior tour completed, let's go ahead and hook the camera up and take this gorgeous Flying Spur out for a quick test drive. Hi guys, welcome to the inside of the W12 Flying Spur, and I've already taken this thing for a little bit of an extended period. It's been a few minutes since the last clip, and it's just an amazing experience in here. Like I said, this is my first experience getting the opportunity to drive a Bentley in general, and all the reviews are true. This thing is just so quiet, so refined. The W12 is just whisper quiet. There's no noise transmitted into the cabin whatsoever. The 8-speed auto is doing a great job of going through the gears and everything. It's just like an amazing place to be. I know this thing was $250,000 when it was new, but still, it feels such like a quality experience in here. Taking this turn here, it's just no body roll whatsoever. Obviously, it's not the most sporty thing in the world. You still kind of waft around a little bit, but it just feels so like sure-footed and planted. The steering is also very light. Obviously, that's to be expected. There's no real like sport mode or anything in this car, and that's totally acceptable by me. You have like the S mode for the transmission. You could firm up the dampers a little bit in that, that mode I showed you a second ago, but other than that, this thing is not meant to be the most, crazy performance sedan ever. It's meant to be the ultimate luxury machine that you would also maybe be willing to drive a little bit more than a Rolls Royce where you'd be chauffeured in. The brakes also have a really nice feel at the top of the pedal. I'm not sure if you can get like carbon ceramics on this thing, but that's definitely not necessary either. I'm sure these are massive, calipers. I think they're like 15 or 16 inch discs as well. So plenty of stopping power to haul this, 5,000 pound plus sedan to a halt here. Turning circle is also really good, especially for a big sedan like this. It doesn't have four-wheel steering or anything, but it's nice and nimble here. A little bit of gas up the hill. This W12 has plenty of power, 616 horsepower, 590
foot-pounds of torque. 0 to 60 is in the low 4-second range. This is plenty of power for this thing. You could also get the V8 version, which, you know, is the Audi Volkswagen 4-liter. I think if you got this thing, you wanted to spring for the W12, because this engine just fits the character of this car so much better than the V8. Not to say that that engine is slow or anything, but, you know, if you have a Bentley, you get the W12, in my opinion. The other point that I forgot to make earlier is that this thing is being offered for a fraction of its original window sticker. Obviously, a lot of people know about the heavy depreciation on these big luxury sedans, and if you can keep up with the maintenance on this thing, this is an amazing daily driver. Even 10 or so years on, the tech isn't the greatest. There's no CarPlay or anything like that, but ride a smooth W12 and everything is well worth the price, in my opinion. I know, like I said, it just has to fit your lifestyle if you can afford this thing, but now that these things are so cheap and like parts are still available and everything like that, this is a really baller daily driver, and I would love to have one of these as something that's you know, would be the executive sedan in my garage or something like that.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this full review and test drive of the gorgeous 2014 Bentley Flying Spur W12. Once again, huge thank you and shout out to the team over at Leesburg Buick, GMC, and Hummer, especially Caleb, for allowing me to review this gorgeous car. If you guys are interested, it is for sale, and I have all their contact information in the description. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.